What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another video. And today's video is all about the places I don't want to ever go back to. I know that sounds a little harsh, but it's for various reasons. So, first of all, I am Kimberly Deneen with Education Noire, and here you'll find all things travel, all things about teacher life, and all things about personal growth. So let's get into the video. And I have some notes here. So first, let me preface all of this with the fact that I love beaches. I love traveling wherever I can go and, just look at water, listen to water, get in the water, lay by the water, read by the water. So let me just say that first of all. And then second, I do love traveling to places where I can learn something cultural. And I enjoy museums and all of those things and seeing the different landmarks and wonders and all these things that places are known for. So I enjoy that as well. So hopefully that gives you a frame of reference for watching this video for the places I don't want to ever go back to. Number one on my list is, and they're not ranked in any particular order, but number one on my list is Madrid, Spain. So Madrid was just an interesting place. I went in the early 2000s for the first time. I actually was a chaperone for a group of students. I do not speak Spanish. I speak French. So most of these weren't my students. I was just there to be extra eyes and hands and everything. So I felt uncomfortable for most of my time there, and we were there for probably about 8 days. So we traveled to Madrid and we traveled to Toledo, and I just felt uncomfortable, and I couldn't really put my finger on why until we were well into the trip, and I just felt a lot of racial bias while I was there. I didn't find the people very friendly. And I didn't really enjoy the food except for paella. Now, paella was delicious. And at that time, I was eating meat, so I really enjoyed paella. I also ended up suffering from sunburn there. It is, I think, the southern part of Spain. And I don't generally sunburn, but I did sunburn there while we were doing a walking tour. And we were there in the summer. So I don't want to go back to Madrid ever. I'm good. I've seen it. I've been there. However, I do want to see how Barcelona is. Barcelona is a place where I would consider going in Spain. And maybe you all have recommendations. Please share in the comments. Madrid is not for me. I'm not going back there. All right. Number 2 is Cairo, Egypt. So let me just say that with Cairo, it was just intense for me. Like the traffic and not having traffic lights, and the pyramids. A lot of people don't realize, because the pictures were always facing the pyramids, but on the adjacent to the pyramids is all city. It's all city. And that was really surprising for me, like really surprising. So also the traffic was a lot. I didn't drive. I don't think I could drive in Cairo, but even just being driven around was intense for me. It was just intense. And I even asked the driver, I said, well, you don't have traffic lights. I mean, what do you, like, if someone has an accident, like, what do you do? He said, we get out and we fight it out in the street. So they don't even have like car insurance. So that was intense. The trash, just seeing like trash piled like high in different parts of Cairo was intense for me. Um, we did not stay in Cairo. We did a day. We just did an excursion to Cairo. We stayed actually in Sharm el Sheikh, which was more my speed because it's a resort town. You can, the beach is there. You're swimming in the Red Sea, and I even found a TGI Fridays there. So I was extremely happy with Sharm el Sheikh. But Cairo for me was intense, so I'm okay if I never go back to Cairo. The next one on my list is Muscat, Oman. So since I've been living here in Abu Dhabi, we decided to take like quick trips over some of our breaks. And Muscat, Oman was the one we took over our fall break, our October break. And I, let me refer to my notes. Okay. First of all, a lot of people were telling me, you got to go to Muscat. You got to go to Muscat. So I think my expectations were pretty high, especially from the people who, recommended that I go there. I was disappointed with that trip. And I think I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to food and when it comes to travel. The best part about that particular trip, I will have to say, was our hotel, which it was a smart hotel. And you probably, if you are part of my community here at Education Noire, you may have already seen the shorts that I did on the smart hotel. If not, check out those shorts because I have snippets of how the hotel, how it was set up and what made it a smart hotel. And it was pretty cool. It was a new hotel. You could tell it was fairly a recent build, constructed. So I think that was like the best part about the hotel. The beach was disappointing. I was disappointed with the beach. I probably would not have swam in the water. And I didn't see anybody swimming in the water, and it was warm. Even though it's October, it's still pretty warm here. Their climate is probably very similar to the climate here in the United Arab Emirates, where, here from November to about March, it's a little cooler here. Low 70s, maybe dipping down into the 60s at night. So you could swim during the day, because during the day it's probably still in the 80s. However, during those months, like the months that we went, it was hot, but nobody was in the ocean. It was not an inviting ocean. The beach was just not inviting at all. The sunset was the best part about it. And we took an excursion. And the crazy part is the excursion said night cruise, right? So as Americans, when we hear cruise, we're thinking, we're going to be in a boat and we're going to be cruising on the water. Well, no, it was actually a van that picked us up. And it was a night cruise in that sense, that they were cruising the streets. Like Usher, cruising the streets. So that's what that was. And the driver was not friendly towards us at all. And I think it was because we live here in Abu Dhabi. Right now, there's something going on between Oman and the United Arab Emirates. And even in the you know how on like different tours they have like a audio guide. Even the audio guide like threw some shade towards the UAE, and the audio guide said, well, we pride ourselves on building out and not up. So that was like some shade towards the UAE because they have one of the tallest buildings in the world here. So it was just interesting, you know. He didn't even open the doors for us. Like, it just was really he was rude. He was rude. He was like, "Oh yeah, well, we don't have blah 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 like they do in Abu Dhabi." And it was just like, it was just a lot of shade being thrown. And you know, that even just put a damper on the trip, you know. And we even actually complained about it, you know, wrote up a report and everything about it. So, you know, the best part about that trip was my being able to spend time with my coworkers and my, you know, they're my friends too. And the hotel and the food in the hotel was really good. So I definitely would not go back to Oman. And, you know, I would say that those are the top 3 for me that I wouldn't go back. The last thing I want to say about Muscat, Oman, is that even though the trip was disappointing, the people there were so nice. The ladies would speak and say hi. And we were there during the time where they actually celebrated National Women's Day. So we even got roses, like when we went in some of the stores. So that was pretty cool. However, that's definitely those 3 places I would not return. I would not go back. So I want to hear from you. Drop in the comments about your trips, your worst trips, places that you're good, you don't need to go back. You know, drop in the comments about whatever you need to say, like about the places where I went, or if you have recommendations for other places in regards to where I went. I do want to go to Luxor and Alexandria in Egypt. I plan to go back to Egypt, but just not Cairo. So yeah, it was too intense for me, y'all. Just too intense. So anyway, please definitely consider joining our community by subscribing, and give this video a thumbs up so other people can see the video. And please post in the comments about your travel experience. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.